Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming to the distinguished representative on population, health and environment from the Ethiopia Consortium. Madam, you have the floor.
All right. Thank you. I'm honored to be speaking on behalf of Women's Major Group. As stated in the background paper for this session, we need clear strategies and mechanisms for realization of inclusive, multi-sectoral, integrated, and gender-just, right-based approach in environmental governance. In this regard, we'd like to make 3 action points. First, one of the main obstacles hampering women's participation as active agents in environmental governance is the societal structures that keep them away from the decision-making process. In order for women to be decision makers on environmental governance, they should be able to decide over their own bodies. Bodily autonomy is essential. 218 million women and girls in low and middle income countries are deprived of the rights to make decisions over their sexual and reproductive health. Women should have access to the information and service that allows them to choose if and when to have children. We, therefore, call on all actors to integrate SRHR into environmental programming. Secondly, there cannot be healthy people on a polluted planet. Pollution particularly impacts women and children. All actors need to ensure environmental health by phasing out toxic chemicals and plastic waste. We, therefore, call on actions to urgently materialize the global treaty to end plastic pollution. Last, but certainly not least, the brutal human rights violations playing out due to wars and affecting the most vulnerable and deprive them of their human rights to a safe, clean, healthy, and sustainable environment. We urge all parties to find diplomatic solutions to the ongoing conflicts and wars. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Again, women and children at the center.
The representative from the Netherlands. And we will now have a recorded message from the Population, Health and Environment Ethiopia Consortium that will then be followed by Belize and China.
Greetings from Ethiopia. I'm Frezer from Ethiopia Consortium, speaking on behalf of Women Major Group. We'd like to extend our profound gratitude for the opportunity as we stand before you to emphasize on the need for actions to achieve a healthy environment and prosperity for all. We'd like to underline the need for gender-just, rights-based biodiversity conservation, which is also discussed in the meetings of subsidiary bodies of the CBD at the moment. We support the emphasis of leadership dialogue on the rights of indigenous people and local communities, but are very concerned the text is currently gender blind, which is not concurrent with existing UN policies, the CBD Gender Plan of Action, and other UN commitments. Moreover, we'd like to bring to the attention of all actors the need for equitable and fair utilization of natural resources among countries and the need to eradicate the prevalence of conflicts and wars around the world, which is also worsening the current food security crisis. We urge all countries to recognize and act on the need to integrate the resolution passed by the United Nations Human Rights Council on the rights to a safe, clean, healthy, and sustainable environment into national policies and legal frameworks. Civil society organizations should work on advocating this landmark resolution and the resolution to end plastic pollution towards an international legally binding instrument to ensure the environmental rights of vulnerable groups are protected. We at last express our profound solidarity with all the victims of current international and civil wars. We call on states to halt all military interventions and other forms of violence to solve political disagreements through peaceful dialogue that fully respects all human rights. And boldly would like to explain there cannot be sustainable development without peace. I thank you.
Significant resolutions. We feel as stakeholders we need to support this progress through constructive engagements in technical as well as required aspects that are of our capacities.
As supportive as we are of the decisions made during UNEA 5.2, we are also very much enthusiastic about the implementation and the mechanisms along with how they can be monitored with regards to integrating the resolutions into the national, regional, and global frameworks. Furthermore, we'd like to bring to the highest attention of the member states to ensure women engagement in decision-making processes, along with ensuring the significance of gender intersectional versus the greater number of the world's population. We expect transparency, full and effective inclusion of women to participate in all decision-making processes, including the full inclusion of indigenous local knowledge. We believe actions and decisions should be taken to be gender sensitive. Women and young girls remain ready to continue working together for effective actions.
And I would now invite Frezer the Population Health from the Population Health and Environment at Ethiopia Consortium to speak on behalf of the Women Major Group. You have the floor, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am Frezer from PH Ethiopia Consortium, speaking on behalf of Women Major Group. This UNEA is about to become a historic event when it agrees to end plastics pollution through an international legally binding instrument. We congratulate all involved for the progress so far. It is important that all decisions that come out of UNEA fully take the right of women and other right holders into account. In Cluster 4, we fear that the rights and needs of women have been deprioritized compared to economic interests of corporations. We express our concern about the increasing corporate influence on UNEA, and we call to speed up work on the UNHCR legally binding treaty on business and human rights. Because of historic discrimination, women tend to have less secure land tenure rights. They are often dependent upon non-monetary values that ecosystems provide. This is key for the resolutions addressing the natural and mineral resources. These sectors see lots of conflict and land grabbing. Moreover, the draft resolution on nature-based solutions will severely undermine and bypass the mandates and work of the CBD. And thus, we urge countries to fundamentally reconsider it. Last but not least, we recall that the military is possibly the world's biggest emitter of climate emissions and destroys the environment, including with toxic chemicals and radioactive materials. We, therefore, want to emphasize that there cannot be sustainable development without peace. We express our profound solidarity with all the victims of current international and civil wars. We call on governments to immediately halt all military interventions and other forms of violence to solve political disagreements through peaceful dialogue that fully respects all human rights, including women's rights. I thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Frezer, co-chair for Women's Major Group. I just wanted to emphasize on the need to incorporate the agenda of humanitarian response and disaster risk management as we are facing as a globe both natural and man-made disasters. So when we do our regional consultations, I believe it is important to consider the issue of humanitarian response. Of course, taking into consideration the importance of multi-sectoral integrated approach. And one more question to the governance affairs or civil society units. I don't see Isaiah here, but now that we're pushing forward for all sectors to be engaged in specific action, I think we need to also consider engaging other civil society organizations that work that has intervention other than environment and climate change. For example, there are organizations that work solely on health, which also has a relation with environmental impacts. So I think it would be great to revisit the requirements for accreditation, and I want to join my brother Ayman on his remarks saying to engage as many civil society organizations as possible so that we can have a stronger advocacy actions. So thank you very much.